Your boy Bat with back-to-back music reviews? What's going on? What's going on? So I'm doing back-to-back music reviews and I'm shooting them literally back-to-back. Like I just did the Drake one literally 2 seconds ago and now I'm doing Rick Ross. I wanted to do Rick Ross earlier, but I knew Drake was coming out, so I didn't want to start reviewing Rick Ross knowing Drake was literally gonna come out and I missed out on Drake, you feel? So the album that we're reviewing is Rick Ross, Rose, Rather You Than Me. So March 17th, 2017 is the day that the album dropped. So do I listen to Rick Ross on a consistent basis? Consistently? I'd say no, but I do listen to a lot of Rick Ross. I mean, when I lived in Florida for the long time that I lived there, my whole life pretty much, obviously I did listen to a lot of Ross, starting with like, I remember he was on like, I don't even remember. I don't know, I'm trying to remember. I'm smacked right now. Triple C's! Shit like that, like, Ross go way back. Like, I've been listening to Ross for years. I can't even pinpoint the day when I started listening to Ross, but it's been a long ass time. All the radio stations you listen to down there are Miami stations, so they're gonna play Ross. So it's inevitable. So my top 3 songs on the album. So starting with number 3, Lamborghini Doors. That's a song featuring Meek Mill. I did like the way the track sounded, like with Meek kind of leveling into it. It wasn't like Meek just jumped right in. It was kind of they slowly waned Meek into this track. So I like the way the track sound. Ross talks about how he visited Meek in jail. It kind of sounded like Ross was walking up to the jail cell and Meek was rapping loud as shit, and then you, like, as you're getting closer to the jail cell, you're hearing Meek. That's what this track sounded like, so I thought that was dope. I like Lamborghini Doors, so that's number 3. Number 2 is I Think She Likes Me. That's featuring Ty Dolla $igns. That track's just hot to me. It's smooth. Nothing too crazy, nothing too hype. It's just a smooth track, chill track. And then number 1, which I'm sure a lot of people do like, just because there's that drama, and pretty much Rick Ross, he's dissing Baby. I think his name is Brian Williams, Birdman. What up, playboy? What happened to that boy? This is the last time I'm drinking before a video. Just know that. This is the last time I am drinking before a video, because this shit is a fucking mess. Yeah, so Brian Williams, the Birdman, Baby. Rick Ross is taking shots at him, talking about how Birdman used to be his idol, and he talks about on the track like how he met him at a concert, saw that his watch was fake, talking about how he doesn't pay Lil Wayne and everyone else on Cash Money, Young Money, and how he did DJ Khaled dirty, and how Birdman's living in Miami, and like Ross made it okay for him to live in. Rappers be talking about like, I let you in my city. Like, Birdman could have been in Miami regardless, bitch. Like, Rick Ross, like, you my nigga, you from Miami, you my nigga, hustle hard, that's my shit. But you're not giving anybody the okay to live in Miami. Like, anybody that want to live in Miami can live in Miami. But anyways, we gonna go into the shit. Beats for this album. Ross lately, I don't know when it started, but as of lately, Ross, he didn't have a lot of pianos on his beat. It's smooth. Like, don't get me wrong, it's definitely smooth, like something to vibe to. But I'd have to give it a 6. I don't want to say I'm not a fan of the piano instrumentals, because I am. But it's just very rarely that I'm in the mood to listen to something like that's smooth like that. Usually I want to listen to something like dope or something that's gonna get me hype. It's very rarely I want to just chill, listen to some piano beats. Lyrics, there were some pretty decent lyrics on this. I wouldn't say it was bad, but I wouldn't say it was anything like groundbreaking, amazing. So I'd give this a 6 as well. Nothing, again, too groundbreaking, too amazing. I did think it was, and again, watch the last Drake video. I did that yesterday. But I did think it was better than the Drake album, lyrically wise, which a lot of people would think like, wow, Rick Ross has better lyrics than Drake. Next, originality. Again, this isn't compared to every other artist. Like, how original are they compared to this group of people? We're talking about how original are they compared to their last body of work. So Rick Ross, this sounds like every other Rick Ross album. So we're gonna give it a 4. I'm sorry, Rose. Again, you my dog, but it sounds like every other Rick Ross album. It's not that original. I'm sorry. But it is dope to me. Don't get me wrong, it is dope to me. Continuity. So based off the last 2 videos I've done, continuity, obviously we're talking about how well does this album gel together and how well do the skits within this album gel together. The skits, there are 2 Chris Rock skits, and I was super excited because anyone that's a Kanye fan, shout out to Kanye, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is my favorite album of all time. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is my favorite album of all time. So obviously there's a Chris Rock skit on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. He's talking about who reupholstered this pussy. Yeezy taught me. That skit, that famous skit, Yeezy taught me. That's a famous classic skit. That's a great skit. That skit's 10 out of 10. But if you compare the 2 Chris Rock skits on this Rick Ross album to the Chris Rock skits, yo, I feel like I am fucking smacked. Maybe I made sense to what I just said, but in my head, I feel like I said nothing that made sense. So the 2 Chris Rock skits on this fucking album, they don't match up to the Chris Rock skit on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. The Easy Taught Me, that shit's classic. This one on the Birdman disc, he's talking about eating fucking Wingstop and drinking Bel Air, whatever Rick Ross's champagne brand is, the Bel Air Boys. And then there's another one that's not anything great. So the continuity, I give it a 6. I mean, the album, it meshes well together, but the skits, they don't mesh that well. Overall grade, this album gets a 5.5, which is a thumbs up. We're not in the below 5 scale, so this album does get a thumbs up. But I like it. I really like this album. The way I feel about this album doesn't reflect the score that I gave it. Maybe I need to add another category or something, because the past 2 albums, I felt like they've been getting lower scores than I actually feel like they deserve. So maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I need to add another category. Let me know if there's another category I need to add. Where I would listen to this album. So again, this was kind of all over the place. There were a lot of piano beats, so I wouldn't suggest listening to this in the gym. I would definitely suggest listening to this at home, chilling, vibing. Definitely not like how I talked about in the last video. I wouldn't make love or fuck to this album. This is just definitely just a at home, chill, car ride to work, car ride somewhere type album. It did have a lot of, like I said, piano type beats. It did have a lot of hype beats, but nothing too crazy, nothing too out of the norm from Rick Ross. So. But I did get a lot of the vibe of old Rick Ross, like the hustle. Oh, that's Ace Hood, actually. Yeah, that's definitely Ace Hood. So, I don't know what I'm saying. You know what? This video's over. Album 5.5. I like it. I fuck with it. Definitely deserves higher than a 5.5. I needed more to my grading criteria. I'll holla at y'all later. Peace. So, obviously there's a kid. So, obviously there's a Rick Rock. So, obviously there's a...